Hello everyone and welcome to English Today Journey. I'm really happy you are here with me today. My name is Sarah and I want to thank you for joining this lesson. If you enjoy learning English and want to improve every day, remember to subscribe so you do not miss any helpful tips. Today's lesson is very special and I am truly excited to share it with you. Today we are going to talk about something very important for learning English. We will talk about English listening practice and how you can learn English in the best and most effective way. This lesson is like a complete guide for you. I will share everything I know about learning English, especially how to understand spoken English better. I will also speak slowly and clearly so you can relax and understand every word I say. So please make yourself comfortable. You can sit down, relax, and maybe take a cup of tea or coffee. Let us start this learning journey together. First, I want to tell you something very important. Learning English is not easy, but it is absolutely possible. Many learners feel frustrated, and that is completely normal. Maybe you watch English videos and think, why can I not understand everything? Maybe you try to speak English and feel shy or nervous. Maybe you study grammar today, but tomorrow you feel like you forgot everything. If you feel this way, please know that you are not alone. Every person who learned English felt the same way at some point. So please do not be too hard on yourself. You are doing something amazing by learning a new language. Just by being here, listening, and trying to improve, you are already doing a great job. Learning English is a journey and every small step matters. Now let me tell you a short story. Many years ago, I met a student named Maria. Maria was from Brazil and she really wanted to learn English. She worked very hard. Every day she studied grammar books. She memorized many English words. She did exercises and took tests. On paper she looked like a very good student. But there was a big problem. When Maria tried to watch an English movie or listen to native English speakers, she could not understand them. When people spoke English, the words sounded too fast and confusing. She felt sad and disappointed. One day she came to me and said, "Sarah, I have been studying English for 2 years. But I still cannot understand people when they speak. What am I doing wrong?" I looked at Maria and told her something very important. I said, "Maria, you are studying English, but you are not practicing English. There is a big difference between studying and practicing. Studying means reading books, memorizing rules, and learning words. Practicing means listening, hearing real English, and getting used to how people actually speak." This simple idea changed everything for her and helped her start learning English in a better way. Practicing English means that you actually use the language, not just study it. When you practice, you listen to English, you try to speak it, you make mistakes, and then you learn from those mistakes. Mistakes are not something to fear. They are a natural and important part of learning. Without mistakes, real learning cannot happen. After my conversation with Maria, she decided to change the way she learned English. She stopped focusing only on grammar books and tests. Instead, she added real English listening to her daily life. Every day she listened to English podcasts, even if she did not understand everything at first. She watched English TV shows and movies with subtitles. She also joined online English conversation groups, where she could hear real people speaking English and try to speak herself. At the beginning, it was not easy for her. Sometimes she felt confused and sometimes she felt tired. But she did not give up. She continued listening every day, little by little. And something amazing happened. After 6 months, her English improved a lot. She could understand most of what people were saying. She could watch English movies without subtitles. She could talk with native English speakers and feel confident. She was very happy and I was very proud of her progress. So what can we learn from Maria's story? The lesson is very clear. Listening practice is one of the most important things you can do to improve your English. In fact, I truly believe that listening practice is even more important than studying grammar at the beginning. This might surprise some people, but let me explain why. Think about how you learned your first language when you were a baby. You did not open a grammar book. You did not study rules. Instead, you listened. You listened to your parents talk. You listened to people around you every day. You heard the same words again and again. Slowly, very slowly, your brain started to understand the meaning of those sounds. After a long time of listening, you started to speak. Grammar came much later, naturally. Learning English works in the same way. If you want to speak English well, you must listen to English a lot. You need to train your ears. You need to get used to English sounds, English rhythm, and common English sentence patterns. The more you listen, the more natural English will feel to you. However, many students have a big problem. They do listen to English, but they listen to the wrong kind of English. What does this mean? Imagine you are a beginner and you try to listen to a fast podcast about politics or science. The speakers talk very quickly and use difficult words. Of course, you will not understand much. You will feel confused, frustrated, and maybe even want to give up. This is like trying to run a long marathon when you have never practiced running before. Your body is not ready for it. In the same way, your ears and brain are not ready for very difficult English. That is why it is so important to start slowly. You must choose listening materials that match your level. If you are a beginner, you should listen to slow, clear English made for learners. This way you can understand more, feel more confident, and enjoy the learning process. As I said before, beginners should listen to slow and clear English. This kind of English is made especially for learners, so the speakers talk slowly and use simple words. If you are at an intermediate level, you can start listening to normal speed English. This means English spoken at a natural speed but still not too difficult. If you are an advanced learner, you can challenge yourself with fast and natural English just like native speakers use every day. The most important thing is to choose English that is right for your level. It should not be too easy and it should not be too hard. It should be just a little bit difficult. This idea is called comprehensible input, and it is one of the biggest secrets to improving your listening skills. Let me explain comprehensible input in a very simple way because it is extremely important. Comprehensible input means listening to English that you can mostly understand but not completely. For example, imagine you understand about 70 to 80% of what you hear. You know most of the words and sentences, but there are some new words or phrases. Even though they are new, you can guess their meaning from the situation or from the other words around them. This is the perfect level for learning. If you understand everything 100%, then the English is too easy. Your brain is not learning anything new. But if you understand less than half of what you hear, then the English is too difficult. You will feel lost, tired, and frustrated. So always try to find that perfect balance. You should understand most of the message but still learn something new each time you listen. Now let us talk about different types of listening practice. There is not only one way to practice listening. In fact, there are many ways and different methods work better for different people. I strongly recommend that you try several methods and see which ones help you the most. The first type is called passive listening. Passive listening means listening to English while you are doing other activities. For example, you listen to English music while cooking. You listen to an English podcast while walking or exercising. You play an English video in the background while cleaning your house. In this type of listening, you are not fully focused on understanding every word. Passive listening is helpful because it trains your brain to get used to English sounds. Your ears start to recognize the rhythm, the pronunciation, and the music of the language. It is like soft background training for your brain. Even if you are not paying full attention, your brain is still learning in a gentle way. However, passive listening alone is not enough. It is useful, but it cannot help you improve deeply by itself. That is why you also need active listening. Active listening means you give your full attention to the English you are hearing. You sit down, you focus, and you really try to understand. You listen carefully to the words, the sentences, and the meaning. You may pause the audio, listen again, or repeat parts if necessary. Active listening helps you understand details, learn new words, and notice how sentences are formed. The best way to improve your English listening skills is to use both passive and active listening together. Passive listening helps you feel comfortable with English, and active listening helps you understand it deeply. When you combine these two methods, your listening skills will improve faster and more naturally. Active listening means that you are fully involved in what you are hearing. You do not just let the English play in the background. Instead, you focus your mind on it. During active listening, you might take notes about new words or ideas. You might repeat sentences out loud to practice pronunciation. You might pause the audio and think carefully about what the speaker just said. You can even listen to the same sentence more than once. Active listening takes more effort than passive listening, but it is much more powerful. This is where deep and real learning happens. I strongly recommend doing at least 15 to 30 minutes of active listening every day. This may sound like a short time, but it is more than enough if you are fully focused. In fact, 15 minutes of strong focused listening is much better than 2 hours of listening when your mind is somewhere else. Quality is more important than quantity. If you make active listening a daily habit, you will slowly but surely see improvement. Another very helpful type of listening practice is listening with subtitles. Some people say that subtitles are bad and that you should never use them. They say subtitles are a crutch. However, I do not agree with this idea. I believe subtitles can be extremely helpful, especially for beginners and intermediate learners. The key is to use them in the right way. Here is a simple and effective method. First, watch a video with English subtitles on. While you watch, read the subtitles and listen to the audio at the same time. This helps your brain connect the sounds you hear with the words you see. Second, watch the same video again, but this time turn the subtitles off. Now try to understand only by listening. Do not worry if you miss some parts. Third, if there are parts you still do not understand, watch the video one more time with subtitles to check your understanding. This method is very powerful because it trains two skills at the same time: listening and reading. Your brain begins to recognize how English words really sound in real speech. This is very important because English spelling and pronunciation are often different. For example, the word though looks long and confusing, but it is pronounced in a very simple way. When you hear the word and see it written at the same time, your brain makes a strong connection. Over time, this makes listening much easier. Now let me talk about another very important topic: the speed of English. Many students tell me, "Sarah, native speakers talk so fast. I cannot understand them." And yes, it is true that native speakers often seem to speak very quickly. But here is an important secret. Native speakers are not always talking extremely fast. It only feels fast because your ears are not used to English yet. When you listen to a language you know well, your brain can easily separate the words and understand the meaning. But when you listen to a new language, everything sounds like one long sound. With more listening practice, your brain will slowly learn to recognize word boundaries, common phrases, and natural patterns. When that happens, English will start to sound slower and clearer to you. This does not happen overnight, but with daily listening practice, it will happen naturally. When people speak your native language, does it sound fast to you? Probably not. It feels normal and clear because you are used to it. Your brain understands it automatically without effort. You do not have to think about every word. This is exactly what will happen with English if you practice enough. At the beginning, English sounds very fast because your brain is still learning how to process it. But with regular listening practice, your brain will become quicker. It will start to recognize common words, phrases, and patterns. One day you will notice something surprising. Native speakers will not sound as fast as before. Their speech will feel clearer and more natural. But this change takes time. It does not happen in 1 week or 1 month. That is why patience is very important. Start with slow English, and as you improve, slowly increase the speed. Now let us talk about pronunciation and why it is closely connected to listening. Many students do not realize this important point. If you cannot pronounce a word correctly, you will often not recognize it when you hear it. Your brain does not connect the sound with the word you know. Let me give you a clear example. The word comfortable. Many students pronounce it with 4 syllables, like comfortably. But most native speakers pronounce it with only 3 syllables, more like comfortably. So when a native speaker says, "This chair is comfortable," some learners do not recognize the word. It sounds different from how they say it in their head. The word is the same, but the sound is different. This is why pronunciation practice is also listening practice. When you learn how words are really pronounced, your listening improves automatically. Your brain starts to match the real sound with the meaning. Because of this, I always recommend repeating what you hear. When you watch an English video or listen to audio, pause it sometimes. Repeat the sentences out loud. Try to copy the pronunciation, the rhythm, and the intonation. Do not worry about being perfect. Just try your best. This technique is called shadowing, and it is one of the best ways to improve both listening and speaking at the same time. You are training your ears and your mouth together. Now let me talk about some common mistakes students make when practicing listening. The first big mistake is giving up too early. Many students listen to English, do not understand much, and immediately think, "This is too hard. I will never understand English. Then they stop practicing. This way of thinking is very dangerous. Learning a language does not work like that. It is similar to going to the gym one time and expecting to have strong muscles the next day. That is impossible. Muscles grow slowly with regular practice. Listening skills grow the same way. You must listen again and again even when it feels difficult. Not understanding everything does not mean you are failing. It means you are learning. Every time you listen, your brain is working in the background even if you do not notice it. If you keep practicing little by little, things will start to make sense. So please do not quit too soon. Stay patient, stay consistent, and trust the process. Your English listening skills will improve. Learning English takes time and there is no shortcut. You need to be patient and consistent. This means you should practice a little bit every single day even if you only have 10 or 15 minutes. Do not think that studying for many hours one day a week is better. It is not. Small daily practice is much more powerful. When you practice every day, your brain stays connected to English and learning becomes more natural. Even a short daily habit can bring big results over time. Now let me talk about the second common mistake students make with listening practice. Many learners listen to only one type of English. For example, some students listen only to British English. Others listen only to American English. Some listen only to very formal English like news programs, while others listen only to casual English. But in real life, English is spoken in many different ways. People from many countries speak English and they all have different accents, speeds, and styles. If you want to understand English in the real world, you need to expose yourself to variety. This means listening to different accents, different topics, and different types of English. You can listen to podcasts, watch movies, watch YouTube videos, listen to songs, or watch documentaries. Each type of content teaches you something new. The more variety you include in your listening practice, the stronger and more flexible your listening skills will become. The third big mistake is not reviewing. Many students listen to something only one time and then move on. They think one time is enough. But repetition is extremely important for learning. When you listen to the same content again and again, your understanding improves each time. The first time you might understand only about half of it. The second time you may understand much more. The third time you may understand almost everything. Every time you repeat the same content, your brain becomes better at recognizing English sounds, words, and sentence patterns. This is how real learning happens. So please do not be afraid to listen to the same audio or video many times. In fact, I strongly encourage it. Find English content that you enjoy and listen to it again and again. When you enjoy the content, repetition does not feel boring. You will be surprised to see how much more you understand with each repetition. Now, let me share a step-by-step method to help you improve your English listening skills. This method has helped thousands of my students and I truly believe it can help you too. Step 1. Choose English content that matches your level. Remember the idea of comprehensible input. You should understand about 70 to 80% of what you hear. Not too easy and not too hard. This content can be anything you like, such as a YouTube video, a podcast episode, or a TV show. The most important thing is that you enjoy it and can mostly understand it. Step 2. Listen to the content one time without stopping. Do not pause. Do not rewind. Just relax and listen from start to finish. Try to understand the general meaning, not every single word. This helps your brain get used to natural English flow and prepares you for deeper listening later. If you follow this method regularly, stay consistent, and keep a positive mindset, your English listening skills will slowly but surely improve. Now let us continue with the listening method in a clear and simple way. After you choose your listening content, let it play and just listen. Try to understand the general idea. Do not stop the audio. Do not worry if you miss some words or sentences. This is completely normal. At this stage, your goal is not to understand everything. Your goal is to understand the main message. Relax and let the English flow. Next comes step 3. Now you listen to the same content again, but this time you use English subtitles or a transcript. Read the words while you listen. Pay attention to the parts you did not understand the first time. You will notice many words and sentences that suddenly make sense. This step helps your brain connect spoken English with written English. Then comes step 4. Write down new words or phrases that feel useful or important to you. Do not write everything. Choose only the words you think you will use again. Look up their meanings and write 1 or 2 simple example sentences. This helps you remember them better. After that, move to step 5. Listen to the same content one more time without subtitles. Now test yourself. You will be surprised that you understand much more than before. This step builds confidence and shows your progress. Then we have step 6. Try to summarize what you heard in your own words. You can write a short summary or you can say it out loud. Both are very helpful. Writing helps you organize your thoughts and speaking helps you train your brain to use English naturally. Possible, try to do both. You do not need to do this long method every day. You can do intensive listening like this for about 30 minutes, maybe 3 times a week. On other days, you can do extensive listening such as listening to podcasts, videos, or music just for enjoyment. Both types are important and work best together. Now I want to talk about something very important. The difference between understanding English and translating English. Many students make the same mistake. When they listen to English, they try to translate every word into their native language in their head. This is a very natural habit, but it causes big problems. When you translate, your brain becomes slow. English continues, but your brain is still translating the previous sentence. Because of this, you miss the next sentence. Then you feel lost and confused. This is why translating while listening makes understanding much harder. So what should you do instead? You need to train yourself to think in English. This may sound difficult, but it becomes easier with practice. The key is to focus on meaning, not translation. Here is a simple way to practice this. When you hear an English word or phrase, try to create a picture in your mind. For example, if you hear the word dog, do not think of the word dog in your language. Instead, imagine a real dog in your mind. If you hear the phrase going to the store, imagine a person walking into a store. When you use pictures instead of translation, your understanding becomes faster and more natural. First, this feels strange. But over time, your brain learns to understand English directly. You stop translating and English starts to feel more natural and automatic. Finally, let me mention another very important idea. Learning chunks instead of single words. Chunks are small groups of words that often appear together. Native speakers do not think in single words. They think in chunks. For example, instead of learning the word look alone, you learn chunks like look for, look at, or look forward to. When you learn chunks, listening becomes easier because your brain recognizes groups of words, not individual ones. Learning English is a process. It takes time, patience, and daily practice. If you listen regularly, choose the right level, stop translating, and focus on meaning, your listening skills will slowly improve. Trust the process, keep going, and remember that every small step matters. When you learn English, it is very important to learn chunks of words, not just single words. Chunks are groups of words that naturally go together and are often used by native speakers. For example, nice to meet you is a chunk. How are you doing is a chunk. I would like to is a chunk. Instead of memorizing only single words, try to memorize these common phrases. Why? Because this is how English is really used. Native speakers do not build sentences word by word in their heads. We use ready-made chunks and combine them in different ways. When you are listening to English, pay attention to the chunks you hear again and again. Write them down. Practice saying them. Try to use them when you speak. Recognizing these chunks will help you understand faster and make your own speaking sound more natural. Over time, you will notice that your listening and speaking becomes smoother and more fluent. Many students have a concern. They say, I can understand English when I listen alone to a lesson or podcast, but when I try to have a real conversation, I cannot understand anything. Why does this happen? Real conversations are very different from prepared content. In lessons or podcasts, everything is clear, slow, and carefully spoken. But in real conversations, people speak faster. They use slang and informal words. They may not finish sentences. Sometimes they interrupt each other. There may even be background noise. All of these things make real conversations harder to understand. So how can you improve? The answer is practice with real conversations. You need to listen to English that is natural and unscripted. One way is to watch unscripted videos such as reality TV shows, talk shows, or vlogs. These videos show how real people speak with all the speed, slang, and mistakes of natural conversation. Another way is to join conversation groups where you can practice listening and speaking with real people. Many online platforms offer language exchange partners or group conversations. At first, this type of practice will feel uncomfortable. You will not understand everything. You may feel frustrated. But this is exactly the kind of practice your brain needs. The more you expose yourself to real English conversations, the faster your listening skills will improve. Your ears will learn to pick up words, phrases, and patterns in real time. Your brain will get used to the speed and rhythm of real speech. The key is consistency. Small, daily practice is more powerful than occasional long sessions. Even 10 or 15 minutes of focused listening every day can make a big difference over time. Combine this with repeating phrases, learning chunks, and gradually listening to faster English. Over time, your brain will become quicker at understanding, and conversations that once seemed impossible will start to make sense. Remember, learning English listening is a process. It takes time, patience, and daily effort. Focus on understanding meaning, not translating word by word. Listen to both prepared content and real conversations. Practice speaking and repeating phrases. Learn chunks of language and notice patterns. With regular practice, you will gain confidence, understand faster, and feel ready to communicate in real situations. Consistency is the key to learning English. I cannot stress this enough. Practicing regularly is much more important than practicing for a long time all at once. It is far better to spend 20 minutes every day practicing English than to study for 3 hours only once a week. Why? Because your brain learns best when it is exposed to English frequently. Each time you practice, your brain strengthens the connections it has with the language. If you practice every day, even for a short period, English stays fresh in your mind. You build momentum and slowly it becomes a habit. On the other hand, if you only practice once in a while, your brain quickly forgets what you learned. You end up having to start over every time, which can be frustrating and slow down your progress. The solution is to make English part of your daily life. You do not need to find huge blocks of time for this. Small moments are enough, and they really add up over time. For example, you could listen to English while eating breakfast. You could watch a short English video before going to bed. You could listen to an English podcast while commuting to work or school. Even a few minutes here and there can make a big difference if you do it consistently. Another question many learners have is about grammar and how it affects listening. Some students wonder if they need to study grammar in order to understand spoken English better. The truth is, the answer is both yes and no. Let me explain. You do not need to memorize all the grammar rules to understand English when you listen. Thinking too much about rules while listening can actually slow you down. Your brain will be busy trying to remember rules instead of focusing on what is being said. However, having a basic understanding of English grammar can help you listen more effectively. Knowing simple sentence structures makes it easier for your brain to predict what comes next. For example, in English, the verb usually comes after the subject in a sentence. If you understand this, you can anticipate the next word or phrase while listening. Familiarity with common sentence patterns helps your brain process English more smoothly and automatically. Therefore, the best approach is to study grammar just enough to understand the basic structure of sentences, but not so much that you overthink it. When you listen to English, do not try to apply grammar rules consciously. Let the rules work quietly in the background, helping your brain understand what is being said. Now let's look at how you can actually practice listening. The goal is to make English part of your daily routine. At first, it may feel difficult or slow, but that is normal. Start with small, manageable steps. Listen to a 5-minute video or audio clip each day. Pay attention to the words you recognize, the sentence patterns, and the intonation of native speakers. Over time, you will notice that understanding English becomes easier. Your brain will start to expect English and you will process it naturally without thinking too much. This is the way fluency begins. Remember, learning English is a journey. Consistency is the engine that drives it, not the length of each practice session. Small, daily habits are more powerful than occasional, intense efforts. Combine that with basic grammar knowledge to support your listening and you will see real progress. Make English a natural part of your day and your listening skills will grow steadily, almost without you noticing. Many learners feel that native speakers speak very fast, and this can be confusing at first. But the truth is, English is not actually faster than you think. Native speakers often use something called connected speech. This means that words in a sentence flow together, and their pronunciation changes slightly when they are next to other words. For example, instead of saying want to, native speakers often say wanna. Going to can sound like gonna. Did you might sound like didja, and a lot of can sound like a lotta. These changes are completely normal in English. Native speakers do it all the time and it makes speech sound natural and smooth. But if you have never learned about connected speech, it can make fast English seem impossible to understand. The key is to learn these patterns. Listen carefully to how words connect when people speak. Try repeating sentences yourself using the same flow and rhythm. There are many helpful videos online that teach connected speech in a clear way. Once you understand how words are connected, listening to fast English will suddenly become much easier. Another important skill for listening is prediction. Prediction is guessing what comes next in a sentence based on what you already heard. Native speakers do this automatically and it is a skill you can learn too. For example, if someone says, "I am so hungry, I think I will go to the," you can predict that the next word is probably kitchen, restaurant, or store. If someone says, "It is raining outside, so don't forget your," you can guess that the next word is likely umbrella or jacket. Prediction trains your brain to understand English faster. Instead of waiting for every word, your brain starts to anticipate what will come next. This makes listening less tiring and much more efficient. Even if your predictions are not always correct, the practice is still very useful. Over time, your brain becomes better at filling in missing information, and English starts to make more sense naturally. When you practice listening, try to predict the next word or phrase. Notice the words that appear often in certain situations. The more you do this, the easier it becomes to follow fast English without getting lost. Now let's talk about the emotional side of learning English. It is normal to feel frustrated, overwhelmed, or even discouraged sometimes. Learning a language is a long process and everyone struggles at certain points. It is important to remember that these feelings are part of learning, not a sign that you are failing. Instead of giving up, acknowledge your feelings, then focus on small steps you can take every day. Celebrate small victories like understanding a new phrase or predicting the next word correctly. These moments show that your brain is learning even if progress feels slow. A helpful tip is to stay positive and patient with yourself. Think of learning English as building a house. You do not build it in a day, you lay bricks little by little. Each practice session, each listening exercise, and each time you repeat a sentence correctly is like laying another brick. Over time, you will see the full house, even if it seems like it is taking a long time. Consistency, connected speech, prediction, and patience all work together to help you improve steadily. The main message is simple. Do not fear fast English, do not panic when you do not understand everything, and do not feel bad when you make mistakes. Listen carefully, practice every day, learn the patterns, and train your brain to predict. Combine these strategies with patience and emotional awareness, and you will find that fast English becomes easier and more understandable. Your progress may feel slow sometimes, but every small step is part of the journey to fluency. It is completely normal to feel frustrated sometimes while learning English. Everyone has days when they feel like they are not making progress or when they feel tired or overwhelmed. These feelings are part of the learning process. The important thing is not to let them stop you. When you feel frustrated, take a short break. Do something you enjoy for a little while, then return to English practice with a fresh mind. This helps you stay motivated and prevents burnout. It also helps to remember why you started learning English in the first place. Everyone has their own reason. Maybe you want to travel to different countries and speak with people from around the world. Maybe you want a better job, one that requires English. Maybe you want to make new friends who speak English, or maybe you just love learning languages. Whatever your reason is, hold on to it. Let it inspire you when learning feels difficult. Think of it as a source of energy to keep going even when things get tough. Celebrating small victories is very important. Each little achievement matters and adds up over time. For example, if you understand a sentence today that you could not understand yesterday, celebrate it. If you learn a new word, celebrate it. If you have a short conversation in English, even if it is only a few sentences, celebrate it. Every small step is progress, and noticing your progress helps you stay motivated. Learning a language is not just about reaching a big goal. It is also about appreciating the small successes along the way. Another key point is to be kind to yourself. Many learners are very hard on themselves when they make mistakes or when they do not understand something. But mistakes are not failures. Mistakes are proof that you are trying, and they are a natural part of learning. Every person who speaks English well today made thousands of mistakes before they reached that level. When you make a mistake, do not feel embarrassed or bad. Instead, notice the mistake, learn from it, and move on. Mistakes are your teacher, helping you understand what you need to improve. It is also important to give yourself credit for every step you take. Learning a new language is not easy. You are doing something very challenging, and that is impressive. Each time you try, you are showing bravery, determination, and patience. Recognize your effort and the courage it takes to learn something new. This positive mindset will make a huge difference in how much you enjoy learning and how quickly you improve. Now, many learners ask about how long it takes to improve their listening skills. This is a question I hear all the time. How long until I can understand everything in English? The honest answer is, it depends. It depends on how much time you spend practicing each day. It depends on the methods you use and how consistent you are. Listening skills do not improve overnight, and there is no exact timeline. Some learners notice improvement in a few months, while others take a year or more. What matters most is regular practice, staying motivated, and keeping a positive attitude. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. You will understand more today than yesterday, and even more tomorrow. Every listening practice session, every new word, every sentence you understand adds to your improvement. The journey may be long, but each step is valuable. Remember, learning English is a marathon, not a sprint. Patience, consistency, and self-kindness are your best tools. How quickly you improve your English listening skills depends on several things. It depends on your native language and how similar or different it is from English. It also depends on the methods you use and the resources you choose for learning. Everyone is different, so the time it takes to improve can vary. But here is a general guideline you can follow if you practice actively and consistently. If you listen to English for at least 30 minutes every day, focusing on understanding the meaning and paying attention to pronunciation and sentence patterns, you should notice real improvement in about 3 to 6 months. After 1 year of consistent daily practice, you should be able to understand most everyday English conversations. You will also be able to follow standard English content like news reports, podcasts, or TV shows. After about 2 years of daily practice, most learners are able to understand almost everything they hear in English. This includes fast speech, different accents, and even more complex topics. However, this assumes that you practice every day. If you only practice once or twice a week, your progress will be much slower. That is why consistency is so important. Practicing a little every day is far more effective than practicing for long hours only occasionally. Small, regular steps build strong habits and help your brain process English naturally over time. I also want to give you some encouragement. Over the years, I have taught thousands of students. I have seen people go from complete beginners, those who could not understand a single word of English, to confident speakers. These students can now work in English, watch movies without subtitles, and make friends from all over the world. If they can do it, so can you. The main difference between students who succeed and those who give up is consistency and determination. The successful students do not stop even when it is difficult. Even when they feel stuck, tired, or frustrated, they keep showing up. They keep practicing every day. Over time, this dedication pays off and they reach their goals. You can be one of these successful students too. I truly believe in you. Now I want to give you a challenge. After you finish watching this lesson, I want you to commit to listening to English for at least 15 minutes every day for the next 30 days. It does not matter what you listen to as long as it is English at your level. You could listen to one of my videos, a podcast, or even a TV show. 15 minutes is enough to make a real difference if you do it every single day. I also want you to keep a record. Write down each day you practice. Seeing your progress in writing helps you stay motivated and reminds you that you are moving forward, even when it feels slow. Consistent daily practice, even for a short time, is the key to improving your listening skills. By the end of 30 days, you will notice that understanding English has become easier and more natural. Remember, improvement does not happen instantly. It is a journey, not a race. The important thing is to keep moving forward every day. With regular practice, patience, and determination, you will improve more than you expect. You have the ability to succeed, and every small step counts toward your goal of becoming a confident English listener. At the end of 30 days, come back and watch this video again. I promise you will understand more English than you do right now. You will also feel proud of yourself for completing the challenge. Taking on small challenges like this is a great way to build confidence and create a strong habit. Are you ready to accept this challenge? I hope you are, because even 15 minutes a day will make a real difference if you do it consistently. Before we finish, let's review the main points we talked about today. First, listening practice is one of the most important things you can do to improve your English. Second, practice with comprehensible input, which means listening to English that is at your level or just slightly above it. If it is too hard, your brain cannot understand and learn effectively. Third, combine active listening where you focus completely on what you hear with passive listening where English plays in the background while you do other things. Both types help your brain get used to the language. Fourth, subtitles can help in the beginning, but gradually try to listen without them. This trains your brain to understand English directly without translating. Fifth, practice every day even if it is only for a short time. Consistency is much more important than long, irregular practice sessions. Sixth, expose yourself to different types of English, different accents, topics, and speeds. This makes you more flexible and prepared for real-life conversations. Seventh, do not translate in your head. Try to think in English by creating mental images of what you hear. This helps you understand faster and remember better. Eighth, learn chunks of language, not just individual words. Phrases, common expressions, and sentence patterns are easier to remember and use in conversation. Ninth, be patient with yourself. Learning a language takes time and progress is not always straight or fast. Some days you will feel stuck, and that is normal. What matters is that you keep moving forward. And 10th, enjoy the process. Choose content that interests you, whether it is videos, podcasts, music, or shows. Learning is much more effective and fun when you enjoy it instead of feeling like it is work. I want to thank you for spending this time with me today. I know this lesson was long, but I hope it was helpful. I hope you feel more confident about how to improve your listening skills, more motivated to practice every day, and more sure that you are capable of learning English. It might take time and it might be challenging, but you can do it. I have seen it happen with so many learners, and I know it will happen for you too. Just remember to keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and keep moving forward. Do not compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at their own pace. Focus on your progress, celebrate your small victories, and stay consistent. Every day you practice, your brain strengthens its connection to English. Over time, all of these small steps add up to real improvement. Learning English is a journey, and every step matters. Celebrate each new word, each sentence you understand, and each moment when you think in English without translating. These small moments are the building blocks of fluency. Keep going and you will reach your goals. You have the ability, the courage, and the patience to succeed. Remember, everyone learns at their own pace. It is not useful to compare yourself to others. The only person you need to focus on is yourself. Try to be a little better than you were yesterday, and that is enough. Every small step forward is progress, and it all adds up over time. If you enjoyed this lesson, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to English Today Journey. I make new videos every week to help learners like you improve their English. And if you have questions or if you want me to make a video on a specific topic, leave a comment below. I read every comment, and it makes me very happy to hear from learners all over the world. Knowing that I am helping people like you makes all my work worthwhile. You are not alone in this journey. There are millions of people around the world who are learning English just like you. We are all in this together, supporting each other and cheering each other on. When you practice, remember that you are part of a global community of learners. This can help you feel motivated and connected. Before I finish, I want to leave you with one final thought. Learning English is not just about memorizing words, grammar rules, or sentences. It is about opening doors to new opportunities, meeting new people, making friends from other countries, and experiencing new cultures. English connects you to the world. It allows you to access information, entertainment, and knowledge that you could not reach otherwise. It gives you the ability to share your ideas, your culture, and your stories with others. Yes, learning English takes time and effort, but it is worth it. Every minute you spend practicing is an investment in your future. That investment will pay off in ways you might not be able to imagine yet. Every sentence you understand, every word you learn, and every conversation you have brings you closer to fluency. Keep practicing, keep listening, keep learning, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. You can do this. I am rooting for you and I cannot wait to hear about your success. Remember, every expert in English was once a beginner. The difference is that they never gave up. They kept practicing, kept learning, and kept moving forward. You can do the same. Do not give up even when it is hard. Every small effort you make counts. So keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep believing in yourself. Enjoy the journey, celebrate your small victories, and stay consistent. English is not just a language. It is a bridge to new experiences, friendships, and opportunities. You are capable of achieving your goals and your hard work will pay off. Thank you again for being here today and spending this time learning with me. This is Sarah from English Today Journey, reminding you that progress comes from consistency, patience, and determination. Keep moving forward and I will see you in the next video. Your journey has just begun and I am so excited for you. Remember, everyone learns at their own pace. It is not helpful to compare yourself to others. The only person you need to focus on is yourself. Try to be a little better than you were yesterday and that is enough. Every small step forward is progress and over time these steps add up to big improvements. If you enjoyed this lesson, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to English Today Journey. I make new videos every week to help learners like you improve their English. If you have questions or want me to make a video about a specific topic, leave a comment below. I read every comment and it makes me very happy to hear from learners all over the world. Knowing that I am helping people like you makes all my work worthwhile. You are not alone in this journey. There are millions of people learning English just like you. We are all in this together, supporting each other and cheering each other on. When you practice, remember that you are part of a global community of learners. This can help you stay motivated and feel connected. Before I finish, I want to leave you with one final thought. Learning English is not just about memorizing words, grammar rules, or sentences. It is about opening doors to new opportunities, meeting new people, making friends from other countries, and experiencing new cultures. English connects you to the world. It allows you to access information, entertainment, and knowledge that you could not reach otherwise. It gives you the ability to share your ideas, your culture, and your stories with others. Yes, learning English takes time and effort, but it is worth it. Every minute you spend practicing is an investment in your future. That investment will pay off in ways you might not be able to imagine yet. Every sentence you understand, every word you learn, and every conversation you have brings you closer to fluency. Keep practicing, keep listening, keep learning, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. You can do this. I am rooting for you and I cannot wait to hear about your success. Remember, every expert in English was once a beginner. The difference is that they never gave up. They kept practicing, kept learning, and kept moving forward. You can do the same. Do not give up even when it is hard. Every small effort you make counts. So keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep believing in yourself. Enjoy the journey, celebrate your small victories, and stay consistent. English is not just a language. It is a bridge to new experiences, friendships, and opportunities. You are capable of achieving your goals and your hard work will pay off. Thank you again for being here today and spending this time learning with me. This is Sarah from English Today Journey, reminding you that progress comes from consistency, patience, and determination. Keep moving forward and I will see you in the next video. Your journey has just begun and I am so excited for you. Take care of yourself and your English learning journey. Goodbye, everyone.